Hey guys, Owen2633 here, and today I just wanted to talk about Destiny 2 and how it's kind of made its own loot like worthless, if that makes any sense. So basically, one of my biggest gripes with this game is that the free-to-play experience is complete garbage. You go through the 45-minute quest line, which ultimately doesn't really provide any context about Destiny, doesn't give you anything about the world. You fight the Fallen, the Cabal, not even the Cabal. You fight the Fallen and Hive, and that's pretty much it. And then after that, you are given a legendary and just told to go on your way. And while it kind of plays like kind of a trial of how you're going to, of how the game feels, how it is, the systems within it, it provides, it's so fast that it just shoves you right into the end game. It shoves you right in with no context, nothing to do, doesn't tell you what to do after, and praying that you will buy an expansion, because that's what every single piece of content is in this game. It's all within an expansion, and the New Light experience is just a free trial essentially. So that boils down, that makes it so the big problem is you're just right at the end game. The progression basically goes, you get the common Kaval stuff, then you get an uncommon shotgun, then you get constant rares, and once you complete it, you get 2 legendaries, and you're on your way. While this isn't as bad as just getting an exotic handed to you, which you essentially do because you get that like cash code, or I think that might be something with the Witch Queen, I'm not sure, but I know that you can get a free the free gravity gun thing. I forgot what it's called. I'll add it in post editing. And you can get that for like essentially free. But the big problem is that once you complete that campaign, you can just do whatever you want. You don't have to buy a campaign if you don't want to. But it's definitely required if you want to make a big like grind fest out of this game and have over 300 hours in the PS5 version and over 500 in the PS4 version. Please, I need another hobby. And it's not ideal, because when you do Vanguard, you get rewarded with legendaries. When you do Crucible, you get rewarded with legendaries. You do Gambit, you get rewarded with legendaries. You do a raid, you get rewarded with legendaries. Can you see the thing here? The surface progression is so shallow that the only early game items you really get are that common assault rifle, the uncommon shotgun. That's it. That's your progression to rare and then to legendary, which to me it makes legendaries feel not so legendary, because I'm getting them all the time, even as a new light. In my campaign where in my videos where I wanted to test out how it would go with a new warlock, which I abandoned because I found out I'm a warlock main. Thank you, Sunbracers. I was getting legendary drops like mad. I mean, but there was a glitch right there where if you had one character on max power, you were just gonna get so many legendary drops on other characters no matter their power level. But even then, the game removes rare drops once you hit a certain power level, so they're just gone, which isn't a bad thing, but it also shows that once you hit that, you have no use for them. Like in Destiny 1, for example, you could have rare items on your character alongside your legendary ones, because legendaries were so hard to get that you were bound to have a few rares on you to fill in the slots where legendaries aren't. That's what makes loot meaningful, when you have something good to grind for and something that's going to ultimately be actually legendary, not popping here and there like commons. Like it takes away the meaning of them when you give them to everyone at an ungodly fast pace. Like, as soon as you complete that New Light campaign, you can go all the way to Dares of Eternity and farm legendaries for all Bungie cares. It's all, which I'm not going to go into it further, but that free-to-play experience is ultimately just like a very watered down version of Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn. I'm not gonna say the copy pasta, don't worry. Ultimately, it's just trying to be that free trial where you can get to a certain thing. You can get all the way to max level if you want, but that's gonna take a lot of grinding. It's ultimately just to give you a feel of the game instead of like a full-fledged experience that a game normally would, which is just a huge problem on its own. Alongside that, we can also talk about how exotics are practically meaningless nowadays. In Destiny 1, you could get an exotic drop, give it to Rahul, and he could still give you a blue, at least in the first few weeks of the game, which ultimately is very crappy, but is just really funny as well. But that also adds into the fact that exotics were exotic. They were insanely hard to get, which nowadays, they replaced pinnacle rewards for playlists with exotic engrams. Why? I understand people may want to reroll stats, but I'm not spending an exotic cipher, an ascendant shard, and a bunch of legend shards just so I can reroll some stats on an exotic. I'll just wait to get one of my like 50 exotics from the season pass, or like my 2 exotic drops from the weekly playlist activities. Like it's dumb in my opinion. I don't think that should have been implemented. I think it could have been perfectly fine. In fact, I think they should make exotics rarer, or add a new loot tier that's rarer than exotics, so we can actually have something meaningful to grind for. But anyway, that's my rant. That's what I wanted to get off my chest, because it really was just pricking me hard and annoying me a lot. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, and now it's time to wrap things up.